This is the New York City FC Pregame Live. Tonight, New York City return to Leagues Cup action as they take on Necaxa. And now, here are your hosts, Glenn Crooks and Matty Lawrence.
Well, hello there, Matty Lawrence, and thank you, Chris Sakona, as part of our broadcast team tonight. I'm Glenn Crooks, and we're getting ready for the third match in Phase 1 of the 2026 Leagues Cup. Now, let me read directly from my script. The New York City Football Club is on Leagues Cup life support. I wrote that.
Nice.
Thank you. Entering their final match of Phase 1 against Necaxa. We're in Harrison at Sports Illustrated Stadium. We want to thank very much our camera operator on the iPhone 16 Pro is Ellie Lawrence. That's right. That's Matt Lawrence's daughter, who is joining us tonight to film some things, keep some stats, and I guess keep us company as well.
Yeah, it looks like she's been drinking a little bit. She is over 21. It's a little bit wobbly, but we appreciate it nonetheless.
That's right. We can see the field being watered and drained and drenched, and the field's in good shape.
Yes.
From above, it looks like it's got some lesser groomed patches, but I think it played really well the other night, Matty.
I agree, and especially when it's had so many games in quick succession, and we've had a lot of heat, a lot of humidity. So, yeah, they've looked after it, the ground staff, very, very well. There were a few bare patches, but I'm with you. I don't think you could notice it in the way that the ball rolled over the turf, that's for certain. I thought it played pretty true in the Crooks Azul game, which was, well, we know. I know the loss wasn't great for NYCFC, but as a footballing spectacle, and add to that the crowd as well. It was really quite a very entertaining evening, Glenn.
So let's review some of the things that are going to be necessary tonight for the New York City Football Club to advance to the quarterfinals. All right? So I'm going to get to that in a moment. Multitasking here.
You are.
And,
very well, too.
Thank you.
I was quite impressed.
Okay. So whether you like it or not, we're going to go over the whole thing because it's long, but it's not out of the question. It's kind of interesting. After last night's results, it puts New York City in this score 3 or 4 goals or win by 3 or 4 goals, because goal differential is the primary tiebreaker, first tiebreaker here. That will somebody's going to utilize that probably to get into the top 4. New York City could be one of them, although a lot of things have to happen. Okay, first, Matty, New York City has to beat Necaxa in 90 minutes. And I say that because after 90 goes to penalties. And if you win the penalty shootout, you get 2 points. That won't be enough. So they got to win a 3-point 90-minute match. Then you've got Austin has to lose to Club America, which is, not out of the question at all. If Austin loses by 1, New York City would have to win by 3 goals or more, just for example, to give you an idea of the goal differential there. Chicago then would also have to lose to Crooks Azul. Again, we've seen the kind of team Crooks Azul is right here on Saturday night. So we understand. Was it Saturday night or Sunday? Sunday night. So we know the kind of team they are. They're the defending League MX champions. If Chicago loses that game by 1, then New York City would have to win by 2 goals or more. Obviously, if either of those teams lose by multiple goals, 2 or 3, then New York City's task becomes a little less arduous, although they still have to get past Charlotte, that is idle tonight, on 6 points, and it has a +3 goal differential advantage. So we're really looking at New York City's got to win at least 3-0 or by 3 goals to have a chance. Also, and later on, Portland has to lose or tie to Tijuana, or if Portland wins, New York City has to win by a higher margin because they're both on +1 goal differential. Same for Philadelphia, who is New York City MLS opponent on Sunday. Philadelphia has to lose or tie to Santos Laguna, or if they win the match, New York City has to win by a higher margin. So a lot has to happen, but all of it is possible. But for all of it to happen together as a possibility, well, it's certainly a minimal chance. But you have to look at it as, and we're going to see the lineup in a minute and see who is going to try to get the 3 points for New York City from the start.
If you take those as all individual games, there's every chance that the Mexican teams can win out. Club America, Cruz Azul, Tijuana, Santos Laguna, I'm not sure that they will, but again, Philadelphia would need to score more goals than NYCFC.
Right.
I think going into the third round of games, I would have said it was an impossibility for NYCFC to qualify, but everything went so well for them over the first couple of days of this third round, like Inter Miami losing, like Nashville losing, like FC Dallas losing, like Seattle Sounders losing. Everything went according to plan, so there's no reason why it can't happen, those individual things, but as a whole, as a collective, the law of averages tends to tell you.
Yeah, it's like playing
unlikely.
a parlay.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever done that. I've done that with my son a little bit. You try to pick 4 winners on the weekend in the NFL, and it's like, I could do that. And I don't know if I've ever won one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, very difficult because it's a 2-horse race. Sometimes one of the horses doesn't show up.
You got the horses now. We got the NFL. So it's all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So unlikely, but
there's a chance. That's the thing.
And here's the thing:
a game that matters right now. As of right now, this game matters.
Right.
I thought coming into this game it wouldn't matter.
Right.
Because I thought other teams, multiple teams, would already have got more than 6 points
for sure. And the thing is that so the Philadelphia game kicks off at 7:10. We kick off at 7:40 here at Sports Illustrated Stadium. Here it is. It's been a nice day. It's still hot and humid, though. It was 92, 93 degrees on my ride in today. But the field in excellent shape. And the support tonight will not be as advanced as it was in the Cruz Azul match. 21,000 plus, and it sounded like it. It was a great atmosphere. Last Thursday against Santos Laguna, an announced 12,000 crowd. Didn't seem that way. And then what we get tonight on a midweek game, in a game where Necaxa, they've already been eliminated. Yes. So does that work to New York City's advantage or not? It's hard to say. Nonetheless, it's a game where if New York City wins, they take care of their own business and get the 3 points. Then they've got to hope that Philadelphia either loses or ties or doesn't win by a larger margin if they do win. But the other games we won't know till we get home, and they'll be done. And so if it works out that we leave the stadium and there's still a chance, it'll be kind of fun to get home and let's check out these other games and see how it goes.
No, absolutely. I think so. But I think your first point is a really valid one. You've got to take care of your own business.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that you win the game. And there's no reason that NYCFC can't beat Necaxa with whichever team they put out, because Necaxa had a couple of decent results early on in Liga MX, but one of those results was against a 10-man Monterrey side for 70 minutes. Their 3 away games, one against Toluca in Liga MX, and the last 2 in Leagues Cup, Philadelphia and Chicago. They've lost all 3 of their away games this season. So there's every chance that NYCFC can win this match, and then we'll see what happens in the other games around the country.
So as we're awaiting the starting 11 for both sides, but in particular the New York City Football Club for tonight's match, I thought it would be fun, and the New York City digital team put this up not too long ago, but there has been one other meeting between these two, but it was a non-competitive match. It was an exhibition match on October the 7th, 2016 in Mexico. So my first thought was, why would they do that? But as it turns out, it was the international break, and Patrick Vieira, who was the coach at the time, wanted to keep his team sharp, but he also wanted to give some players an opportunity, including Mehdi Belushi, first-team assistant coach now. And if you look closely, he is the left wing in that 4-3-3 setup. There are some interesting characters in there, like Jefferson Mena playing left central defense. That project didn't last very long. Ethan White, who became a professional photographer, he's the right central defender. Mikey Lopez, still playing in USL. He was the right back, and you go from there. But you see Pirlo in the midfield with Mix Diskerud. Now, Matty, I don't know if you were around for this period of time, but Mix Diskerud was out of favor with Patrick. And during this period of time, he was not training with the first team. He was training on his own. And this match right here was his very last game with the New York City Football Club. It seemed cruel. I don't think we ever got the true story there. But Mix Diskerud, he was in the starting 11, and that was it for him. And you see Villa up front, Kyrie Shelton. So it's kind of fun. It's always – I love looking back. Oh, on the bench, RJ Allen, and here's a good one, Andoni Iraola. Your Liverpool coach
manager
was on the bench for this one, and well, good stuff. And well, why don't we look at what the real lineup is here on August the 13th, 2026. And let's go through it. Matty Cavallo, Fernandez Mercado, Ilinic, Malachi Jones, Luigi gets to start, Murray, Parks, Pereira, Romero in for Freeze, Sands, and Traore. So, why don't you diagnose this one for us?
Well, we'll start with the last name, and that's Traore. And we said it in the last game against Cruz Azul that Traore was poor. He came on to have a positive effect on the game, and he had a negative effect on the game. Gave the ball away nearly every time he had it. When he had the opportunity to take a man on, he lost it. But again, I go back to what I've always said, is he's only 23 years of age. He's only just come to the country. It's a new language, new style of play, a new team, new teammates, new manager. We have to give him a chance. But yes, from what we've seen so far, it's not working out. It's not working out. And that's playing it down a little bit. It's almost worse than that. But he's a young boy. He's getting used to his teammates, his surroundings. Give him another go today. We heard from him when he came in, Glenn, from Traore, that he wanted to be playing as a centre forward. But anything you've seen of Traore at FC Basel, he played on the wing and predominantly on the left wing and cut in. And I think tonight we will see him on the left side because Luigi undoubtedly is going to play as the true centre forward.
It'll be exciting to see Luigi from the start in his debut. He contributed immediately, helping on a goal scored by Tavon Gray in that Santos Laguna match. And then he came on as a reserve in the second match as well, but wasn't quite as impactful. And that was the interesting formation change. When the late substitutes came in, Luigi entered the match along with Traore that you were just talking about there. So I want to go back, and I want to be careful here, make sure I bring up the right thing, but I want to go back to our commentary from that night, and I want you to listen to Matty Lawrence very closely. So this is the game. Cruz Azul defeats New York City 2-1 here at Sports Illustrated Stadium. It was 1-1 at the time, though, when these final subs were made. And I want you to listen closely, and then we'll follow it up as well, because there was a question about where Nico Fernandez Mercado was positioned. And Luigi will take Tylus Magno. And we see Benny Traore also.
It's come on for Johnny Shaw.
All right. Which will put who into the midfield. We've seen this from Pascal Janssen before, things that might be worked on in training with players in positions that we're not accustomed to seeing.
I'm not sure in this game that I want Nico Fernandez Mercado to be playing as a sitting six, though. I want him higher up the field, that's for sure. And it looks as though Traore's playing on the left and Hannes Wolf is the number 10. I don't want Hannes Wolf as the number 10 either. But again, this is just me. Pascal Janssen knows these players much better than I do. But I just think that the game will be played in behind Nico Fernandez Mercado when he's trying to play as a six in this game today in the last 13 and a half minutes. This is a different game to the one against Santos Laguna.
And against Santos Laguna, Fernandez Mercado was dropped deeper into the midfield, but the score was 2-0 at the time, and the level of competition was different as well. So before you comment any further, let's play the game-winning goal here from Paradella. And again, listen closely to Matty, because this really supports what he was saying when the substitution and field adjustment was made by Pascal Janssen. And some freedom for Carlos Rodriguez. I thought he was going to get the shot off. Instead, it's a deflected take from Paradella. And Cruz Azul in the 78th minute take the 2-1 lead. Matt Freeze off the deflection, did not have time to react. And Paradella, we've seen him effective with his left, also with his right. And how about the reception by Rodriguez to set it up?
Yeah, Rodriguez gets too much time and space. He just drops in behind Nico Fernandez Mercado, slides the ball laterally into Paradella, who gets the ball out of his feet, shoots with the right foot. Yes, he gets lucky with the ricochet. You just felt that might have been coming, though, from Cruz Azul, especially with those changes just made by Pascal Janssen. I'm still a little bit bewildered by them. And as I say, Rodriguez totally gets in behind Nico Fernandez-Macau.
All right, and so, Matty, I give you a lot of credit there. And now the one thing I do want to say, because part of our discourse was you've got Keaton Parks on the bench, so why not utilize him? So I did ask Pascal Janssen that at his weekly presser.
Is Macau a little bit higher?
Was a possibility. However, it was Keats' first time back on the roster, and he was there if the game had gone in a different way. If you had a more comfortable game, that is, he might have got on pitch. But in this case, it was very, very important that we kept players on that are robust enough to go in the high intensity that was.
All right, so that's the explanation.
Yeah.
So he's ready to use him, and I don't think at any point in that game it was ever going to be anything but high intensity. But you never know, and now we also know that Keaton Parks will take the field and make his first start since May the 16th against Red Bull New York. He's been injured and was rehabbing during the entire World Cup break. Wasn't even ready to come out of the break, but he's making an appearance here.
Yeah, it surprises me that you're not ready to play 15 minutes, but 4 days later you're ready to start the game. That doesn't tend to line up, in my opinion, but I'll go with whatever Pascal Janssen tells us. If that's what he thought, there's no way that before that game against Cruz Azul you thought it would be anything but high intensity. You knew that it would be packed with fans. You knew that Cruz Azul are a very, very good team. You know the intensity levels they play at. So I can only assume that Pascal Janssen thought that Keaton Parks could come on the pitch if Cruz Azul were 5-0 up. Because there's no way on earth that NYCFC were going to be 3 or 4-0 up.
You were going to say no way in hell.
I was, and there isn't. Whether you believe in it or not, I don't think that was going to happen. So yes, I understand it. You've got a bench of 12, I think, in this competition. So yes, you can just have a sub on there just for the hell of it. But
let's just to segue into poor Pascal Janssen being questioned here. When we've talked about this oftentimes at our immense respect and how the number of times he makes the right decision in game substitutions. Another question was asked about this particular game with such a small chance to advance because of all the way it's gone. And certainly you've got a quick game coming up against Philadelphia, Matty, on Sunday. So he was asked about that.
Word 1 second about the game against Philadelphia. The priority is the game against the Mexican team now, and trying to get as much of this game and hopefully get a result that brings us further down or further up in the tournament. It's less likely because the way it's been set up, the tournament, but we do enter a game with the mindset of winning each and every game. So that is priority number 1, and then when that game is finished, we'll start thinking about Philadelphia.
So I don't know if I believe him 100% there either. You have to think a little bit about Philadelphia, I think, and you are considering the physical nature of your players. Agustin Ojeda is out of the squad, and we know he rolled his ankle the other night and played through
early on.
But he played through it. He stayed on the game, played through it, but that's one that could possibly have blown up after the game. We don't have specifics on it, but obviously that particular injury is part of what is keeping him out of this one. Hannes Wolf is also not in the squad. We don't have a report as to why that is. So anything could have happened between that last game where he came in as a reserve and now. But Hannes Wolf also not available, which may have precipitated the addition on a short-term loan of El Hadji Sam, who has played 13 games for MLS Next Pro. He was signed to MLS Next Pro out of the academy for New York City FC and now is on the short-term loan. He's a forward. He has scored 4 goals for the 2 teams. So will we see him? Hard to say. But with Wolf and Ojeda out, then that necessitated that move, or a chance for the young man to sit on the bench. He's only 16 years old, Matty.
Yeah, we understand why he's been called up. We're not so sure about Hannes Wolf. We know that there was talk of maybe him moving on, maybe him not accepting a contract offer for after, was it 2027 or for after this year? I can't quite remember now. But I'm surprised that he's not included unless it's something like that. Ojeda, I absolutely get it. I'm surprised that he got through the game against Cruz Azul, because he turned his ankle really, really badly. And you have to give him kudos for playing, because he must have been in pain. There's no way he wasn't in pain, of playing through the pain in that game. But no surprise you want to rest him. And I'm with you. Yes, I understand that Pascal Janssen wants to take the cliche, one game at a time. And the most important game is the next game. The next game is tonight. But also, your bread and butter, if you will, is MLS play. Philadelphia are a good team. Philadelphia are developing and have done okay in the League's Cup as well. That's the most important game in this coming week. It's not tonight. It's this coming game in MLS against Philadelphia Union. So, yes, if Ojeda can be fit for that, you would just rest him tonight. My one surprise, well, actually a couple of surprises. Surprised to see James Sands.
That was the one I was going to ask you about. And I think in conversations with yourself and Roberto Abramowitz, one of our colleagues, regarding Sands, I thought for sure it would be best to give Sands the night off because he looks knackered. However, if he's not fit, he's not going to be in the 11. And I'm sure Sands also said, hey, I'm ready to go and wants to go, because I think he wants to improve on his own performance from the other night as well.
We know what type of a character and a winner James Sands is. And I thought by his very high standards, he didn't have the best of games. It was his giveaway or change of possession in the middle of the park, pretty much on the halfway line, that gave the first goal, if I'm not mistaken, to Cruz Azul. And there was a couple of times he gave the ball away with just unopposed mistakes, which is very unlike him. So I'm with you. Sure. Absolutely. And I don't think he needs to be 100% fit. Very rarely is a player 100% fit, apart from at the beginning of the season. We're not at the beginning of the season. And James Sands, if he's 90-95% fit, he'll want to play. And also, Pascal Janssen would want to play an experienced player there. He's very unlikely to play Max Murray and Joao Loyola alongside each other
at the start. That would be almost unfair. Yeah. You're seeing on the right, those are the New York City FC keepers warming up. And Tomas Romero, he will get the nod tonight. Tomas Romero, he's had an interesting career. He was the primary keeper for LAFC in 2021. Started 18 games, and it was a bit rugged for him. But he then moved on to Toronto, and he got hammered in a Miami game in an October match, and that sort of sealed his fate. And then he's come on over to New York City FC for the 25 season, and then this season he's only had 2 MLS appearances. And so he's a guy that we've seen some bright marks, especially in the U.S. Open Cup. He's a capable keeper, and he'll get the nod tonight. And one guy playing in front of him, you mentioned Max Murray, and Max Murray makes his debut with the first team against Santos Laguna, and then has a glorious moment for any player when they get their first professional goal. Here it was. With Nico Fernandez-Mercado and Agustin Ojeda, the two that will be over the ball. So it'll be either Mercado striking it and it'll curl away from the keeper, or is it Ojeda? Fernandez-Mercado approaches, drives, headed goal! It's Max Murray! It's Max Murray! He debuted on Thursday for New York City FC against Santos Laguna. And now in his second game, he rifles in a header off the free kick by Fernandez-Mercado, and New York City ties it at 1.
Well, you asked whether Ojeda was going to take it in, Swicker. I was hoping not, because Fernandez-Mercado's delivery is absolutely phenomenal, as it is 99% of the time. With pace, arcing away from the goalkeeper, but still finds itself inside the 6-yard box. The keeper can't come, though. Max Murray is 6'4", and he's done this time and time again for the University of Vermont, and he's now transferred that to the professional.
And there it was, Max Murray starting at right central defense with James Sands on his left, and that's the way it'll be again tonight, Matty, as we are looking ahead to the 7:15 kickoff to our broadcast, the live commentary on the New York City FC Radio Network, nycfc.com/radio, with kickoff of the match here at SIS, Sports Illustrated Stadium, at 7:40. So we're hoping that you'll tune in for our commentary. I got to tell you, though, we've just got handed the lineups. Necaxa, I am hoping that Arantes Javier comes on as a substitute. His number is 181. That's a good one. I don't know.
Yeah, the Mexican teams, their academy players are always 3 digits. So, it makes it intriguing. And also, we look down at NYCFC's substitutes bench. There's only 11 names for NYCFC. They're allowed to name 12. So that tells you the problems they're having with injury. Not that we don't know it, Glenn. Unfortunately, you have to read off the injury list in every game, and it takes you about 10 minutes to get through it. So, that shows you where we are. And that's after having called up the 2 young boys as well from the NYCFC 2 team to short-term agreements.
But we see Maximo Carrizo, who's coming off a 2-goal performance for NYCFC 2 in their 3-0 win over Orlando. And want to give them a little bit of a shout-out because they're only a single point out of a playoff spot in MLS Next Pro. And I also wanted to point out that Drew Kerr is on this team. And I didn't know that. I just interviewed John Kerr yesterday. He's the Duke University men's coach, a legendary figure. What brought it all together is that the New York City FC 2 team is playing at Icon Stadium, Randall's Island. And what's interesting there, and John Kerr told me this story, is that John Kerr's father, who's a legendary NASL figure, played with Pelé at the Cosmos, and Pelé's first game was on that pitch on American soil, and John Kerr Sr. played in the game.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And now his grandson, Drew Kerr, is playing on that field under Matt Pilkington and with the NYCFC 2 team. So there you go.
Yeah, it shows you that lineage works as well, doesn't it? And genetics are real, aren't they, in terms of that going down the line there.
And Cooper Flax, who made his first team debut recently against Santos Laguna, he played nearly the full match for the 2 team, and he is not a part of the squad today, and neither is Seymour Reed, who played the full 90 in that match for the 2 team. So some juggling of the rosters, and obviously, and I would do the same thing, let's get some boys down to that 2 team and get into the playoffs. Let's get to the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. That you want to be successful all the way at your football club, don't you? From the young academy ages all the way on up through NYCFC 2, up here to the NYCFC first team. And look, it starts here today, doesn't it? Let's be honest. You win this game of football today, and then you see what the other results are, because you need to win this game to qualify, obviously.
All right. Well, here's how we're going to close. We're in New Jersey, so this is the 3rd consecutive match at Sports Illustrated Stadium with all this Leagues Cup for New York City FC, as both Citi Field and Yankee Stadium were occupied for one reason or another, not just baseball. And so it brought to mind, and this popped up this morning in my inbox, but let's check this out. The best states to live in the country. New Jersey is the 2nd best state to live in, and it has the 3rd highest median household income. Beyond that, when it comes to health, New Jersey residents have the 2nd lowest premature death rate in the nation, the 3rd lowest obesity rate, and the 3rd best overall life expectancy. Matty, I tell you time and time again, Jersey is where it's at, and that's the proof.
Don't forget, it does always tell who came up with the study. And if that was the Crooks household who came up with a survey, then I'm not surprised. It's a legitimate source, is it?
Wallet Hub.
Oh, absolutely.
I have no idea if they're legitimate or not. But
of course, you rolled with the facts, though.
One of the newspapers or online services picked up on that. Just all kinds of good things. Now, I'm not going to tell my daughter this. It was pretty disturbing. She lives in New Mexico. They're number 50. So don't tell her.
No, I'm definitely not going to tell her.
Don't tell her anybody. It's like, and New York is 12th, by the way. So for all you obnoxious New Yorkers who don't like coming into New Jersey, and I say that tongue in cheek.
He does. I know.
But my message is, get off the New Jersey Turnpike, get into West Jersey, and see the beauty. I mean, there's some great spots here in the Garden State. They don't call it the Garden State for nothing.
And if you're in New York, start very quickly now. Jump on the PATH train, get over to New Jersey, and you can see the beauty of not Harrison Stadium, but Sports Illustrated Stadium.
And the other thing about Jersey, there used to be 600 diners. We are the diner capital. Now there are 400 because, like newspapers, they've been falling off the charts. But I did this just for you, Maddie. Here's a Jersey City diner. Look at that
Very
thing.
nice.
The White Mana Diner. And look at that thing.
Since 1946.
It's beautiful. And then I think the most recognizable diner in the state is the TikTok Diner because it's right on Route 3. And anybody from New York or New Jersey has probably been through their doors at one time or another. Anyway, so there's your conclusion to our NYCFC pregame live. A little look at New Jersey and the number 2 country for best living. And I can attest to it. I mean, come on, man.
You're living well.
We're living well. So what's going to happen tonight in Jersey here in Harrison? That remains to be seen. 7:15 again, airtime on the New York City FC radio network. If you have the NYCFC app, you can pull it up there, the TuneIn app, or if you go on the web, you can click on it on the website, nycfc.com/radio. All right. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. And thank you to Maddie. And for Maddie, I'm Glenn, and look forward to talking to you during the game. Have a good night and enjoy the game, everybody.